Hey guys, today we're taking a look at the Mantisx Blackbeard. So let's get right into the first 30-second breakdown. That's where in the first 30 seconds, give or take, I give you guys my exact thoughts on this product before we get into the full review. That way you guys can just stop watching because now you know exactly what I think, or you can continue watching, find out why I say those things, and it does help with the YouTube algorithm, which I appreciate it. So this is the Mantisx Blackbeard, and as you saw from the first clip, this is a dry fire aid and it resets your trigger. Super cool tool, and it's really helpful, especially today because of the ammo prices. This allows you to get really good dry fire training in and be able to use all your own stuff on your own gun. This way you don't have to use some other type of system to get the training. You can use your optic, your flashlight, your trigger, your safety selector to get the most accurate training as possible with this. And the fact that it resets your trigger, you're able to do transitions, you're able to do manipulation of all your gun without having to go click, reset, and run your charging handle, which is, I mean, it works, it does what you gotta do, and you can get good training in that way, but this is just a superior way of training, and it's something that I have been using a ton lately, and it actually has been annoying my family a ton because I've been going around the house, just clearing everything I can and having a blast with this. Now let's get into my relationship with Mantisx. They did send this product to me and I did not spend my own money on it. So let's get into the full review now and go over all the pros and cons of this system. The one biggest pro obviously is the fact that you can do dry fire training without having to rack your slide or having to use a completely different gun or system. You can use your own personal rifle that you've built that's set up to you, and I can change this. This is my home defense gun. I can change this and switch it over to my patrol rifle and put it into this and do training on this gun and this gun as well with the exact same system and not have to change anything out. The only thing that I'd have to do is maybe move the laser because the point of aim and impact will be a little bit different per system that you put this on, which I'll go over a little bit later on how to do that, and it's a very easy system. The install is super easy. All you have to do is break your gun down. You're going to pull your old bolt carrier and charger handle out. You're going to put this in, put it back down, close the system, and then you're going to take the battery and you're going to push it in and you're going to get a reset. And then you know that your system is ready to go. The battery is rechargeable. I've seen that it says something around 80 to 100,000 shots and resets per battery charge. I think I got a little less than that last time. It's mainly because I think I stored this in the gun. I think you're supposed to remove this and keep it away because of the contact's always there. It might drain the battery a little bit, so I would recommend storing it separated. But I've charged this twice over about the month or so I've had it, and I have shot a ton with it. Something a lot of people I think are gonna like the system for is being able to train in your own house as well. How often are you able to use something like this that you're able to get this kind of shooting and reset and transition and work in your own home while using your home defense gun? You're able to use your flashlight, work that, be able to work the corners of your house and everything like that, and use your own optic and trigger and get as comfortable with your gun in your own house as possible using the system. I think that's really cool because most of us, I'm sure, if you guys are like me, you always go through your house with this and clear everything and have fun with it, but when you can actually run the trigger and use it around corners and play with it a little more and actually get more comfortable with your gun and get more training that way, you're gonna have a lot more fun with it, and you're gonna get better reps in, which means better control of your own firearm. Another really big benefit of this system is being able to train new shooters. Something I've seen people do in the past, and it really turns people away, is just going straight to the AR-15, being like, oh, you've never shot an AR-15? I'll take you out, let you shoot it. They shoot it, they get scared because it's kind of a scary system to shoot for the first time, and they kind of don't want to do it, and maybe they're a little standoffish. It's a really good idea to start usually with like a 22 is what I do, but I always used to just start with dry fire, let them feel the trigger. But with this, instead of having to awkwardly manipulate the gun around them or have them try to manipulate it, you can just hand them this, tell them to work the safety, you know, get used to that, and then just pull the trigger just to get used to the trigger. So then there's no surprises after that. They can kind of get used to the system, maybe transitioning targets, aiming the gun first, and getting an idea of what that feels like. And then you can move them up to the next step and be able to actually have them shoot something, start with a 22, something really small, and just slowly work them up the ladder that way. And I think that has been a more beneficial way when I've been able to train new shooters. I think that helps a lot more, is going from dry fire to small caliber to that goal of what you want them to shoot if it is wanting to go to a bigger caliber like 5.56, 7.62, but I like this system for that aspect. Now for the laser. So you can do no laser, which is going to run you at $200. So if you want to go the cheapest, and then you can go up to red, which is going to be $220, and then you can go green. And what is really cool is it goes infrared. So you can run night vision with this and still be able to see where you're shooting. So that's pretty cool. They offer that, and that one is up to $250. So it goes up in price range. Now, which one do I recommend? I think it is really beneficial and pretty cool to see a laser, so I think red is going to be just fine for most of you being able to see that. Now, I will say sometimes it can be distracting seeing the laser, and almost makes you have a couple bad habits, because I found myself sometimes shooting and looking for the laser. As long as you don't do that and you're not creating bad reps, I think that's really cool to see that, because something you can work on with the laser, and I've been doing a lot with, is point of aim shooting. Being able to bring that gun up, especially in a house setting like this, where you're not gonna be able to have time to aim those up and make sure you're having really good shots and precise shots. You can work on your point of aim, knowing where your impact's gonna be, find something and shooting at it and making sure you're getting your hit. So point of aim shooting is really cool with a red laser. Now, if you just wanna work on just your dry fire and focusing on your sights, then you can just go the one with no laser, because like I said, it can create bad habits if you're focusing on where that laser is hitting and kind of moving your head, or maybe really just looking where you're hitting, and you just want to focus on just shooting, then you can go without the laser. Now, what I will say is, if you just want to spend the $20 extra and have the laser for future reference, you can aim this to a point where you can't see the laser, and it's just like shooting without the laser. So I would probably spend the extra $20 to get the laser on at least the red, just so you have it if you want to use it. But you can, like in this instance, you don't even have to have the laser showing when you shoot, so you don't get distracted if that's something that you're having a problem with. If you're not familiar with Mantisx products, but they actually have something that you can clip onto a pick rail of your rifle, handgun, shotgun, and it goes to your cell phone and it detects movements during trigger pull, and you can actually use this in conjunction with that and be able to see where you're flinching and maybe kind of calculate what your issues are. So you can use those two devices together. Now, one thing I'm gonna say, and make sure to give you guys a warning, is with dry fire, any kind of dry fire that you do, you need to make sure you're going to the range and shooting live rounds and making sure you're not building bad habits by doing dry fire. Dry fire is one of the best things I think you can do. Saves you a ton of money on ammo, especially right now with the ammo prices, but you need to make sure you're confirming what you're doing at the range before you go and just build a ton of bad habits with this, and then realize at the range, oh my goodness, I just created a ton of horrible habits that I now have to break. And that's gonna cost you even more money. So make sure as you're dry firing, you're still going to the range and confirming those things that you're doing and making sure you're creating good habits, because dry fire is one of the best things you can do as long as you're doing it correctly and you're being critical of yourself. Now for the downfalls. As you guys usually know, if you're familiar with my channel and things I do, price is usually in the downfalls. But for this, I cannot put the price as a downfall. For $200, being able to shoot like this as much as possible and be able to have that reset and not having to charge your gun, and you're getting such good dry fire training, I think that's a fantastic price. You get the bullet charging handle and a battery, and everything works really well so far. I've had it for over a month, and I've been using this thing like crazy, and it's worked really well. If anything changes, I will update you guys on my Instagram and Facebook, as I always do, but everything's worked fantastic. And I definitely think that price is a pro. But for the cons, there's about only one that I can really think of, and it's not even all the time. Something I've noticed is they say you can shoot 10 shots in a second, so you're able to really get that rapid fire down. Something I have noticed though is sometimes when I'm trying to shoot quickly, it does hang up every once in a while. It's not every time, doesn't happen all the time, but it is something I've noticed, and I wanted to make sure I mentioned in here so you guys knew that. Not really something that bothers me personally, because when you're doing dry firing, I don't think it's a great idea to work on shooting a lot of rounds at one time. I think it's more important to work on that trigger press, your sight alignment, and transitions. There's really not a whole lot of shooting 10 shots at one thing, because the problem is you're not having the recoil. So all of that can build bad habits in my mind. So I think it's better to work on fewer shots on a target and working on those transition, sight alignment, trigger press, maybe one-ups and stuff like that, opposed to just burning it down on one thing, because I don't think you're getting as good as reps as you possibly can, because you're not getting that recoil involved. So I think those kind of reps should be saved a little bit more for the range, but that is something I want to mention so you guys were aware of. So is this something I recommend and would spend my own money on? Absolutely, I recommend this. I recommend this for anybody that wants to get better at shooting and has the time to dry fire. Some people just don't take the time to dry fire and just don't care that much. They just would rather go out to the range every once in a while and plink and have fun. That's not a problem. Not everybody has to be out at the range every single weekend or every other weekend and shooting thousands of rounds or always dry firing. Some people just aren't into that. Something that I am really into is being proficient with my rifle systems and handguns. So this for me is something I absolutely recommend. So if you're somebody that really wants to get better with their gun or just doesn't want to spend the money on ammo and would like to practice more, this is something I highly recommend to you because of the benefits of being able to reset that trigger, using your own system, being able to use your own flashlight, your own optic, your own trigger, your own safety selector, and just your own gun, and not knowing you are comfortable with your own system that you built for yourself, opposed to having to use something else. So that to me is such a huge benefit. I do recommend this and would spend my own money on this. If you guys are interested in helping out the channel and the things I do here, there's a couple ways to do that down in the description. There are some discount codes to save you some money from companies that I personally trust, and there's a link to my website from other companies like Brownells, Air Precision, Premier Body Armor. Anything you purchase using those links does help out my channel a ton, and I appreciate that if you do. If not, I just appreciate you guys being here, liking, sharing, and subscribing. Those things help as well. Even just being involved and having conversations in the comment section does help, and I really appreciate and enjoy having conversations with you guys and talking about some of these products and experiences you guys have had. There's a couple other companies that help me in the channel are Howitzer and TA Targets. Howitzer is a fantastic clothing company that I wear their clothes all the time, and one of the coolest things is they donate 5% of proceeds to charity. I absolutely love that, and they've donated a ton of money to law enforcement, first responders, military, and some other organizations as well, which is super cool. TA Targets is a fantastic target company, about the only targets I use at my range, and I really like them. Building the second range I've talked about for a while, pushed everything back a little bit because of the wood prices of the house, but the land is still there, so the new range is getting built slowly right now. Everything's gonna get transitioned there, and gonna be getting some more TA targets for that range as well. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for all the interaction you guys have been doing lately, and the channel is growing a lot. I got over 20,000 subscribers, which is absolutely crazy to me that there's 20,000 of you that want to continue watching this stuff, and I appreciate the constructive criticism and knowing what things work. It seems like a lot of you really like the 30-second breakdown and trying to get you guys as much information as possible, as quickly as possible, because I know time is important and I don't want to waste your time. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all, and have a great week.
And that's sugar.
Here's the trigger.
And that's sugar.
Do you play with the trigger?
No.
Good boy.
Can you picture me, Daddy? Picture me.
There you go.
Then I shirt.
Oh, who are they?
Case.
Yeah.
Marshall.
Do you want to film Daddy's gun now?
Yeah.
Okay, here you go.
My pants and my shirt.